Heated up right now. I'm going to go live and I'm just going to riff really quick. I don't know if it's going to be long. I don't know if this is going to be short, but somebody needs to hear this today. And that I know to be true. Listen, when I was coming up in the industry that I was in of social selling, there was no space for me there. It was an industry. It's an industry, and the female success industry in general is an industry I feel of mostly very masculine energy, right? I saw like somebody like private jets, these fancy cars, these big houses, which there's nothing wrong with wanting luxury things and luxury items, right? Like we all have our own idea of what luxury is, right? What is your idea of luxury? Like, we all have our own ideas of luxury, which is fine. However, what I found is that usually the success industry, because that is definitely, there's a gray area, right? Like not everybody's idea of success is the same. But in the success industry in general, there is a specific type of person who feels like they are the ones that are qualified to tell everybody else how to be successful. I've noticed that it's either men. Specifically, I've noticed men that either don't have kids. They're also married to pretty masculine women sometimes. Men who do not have a very good work-life balance. So they're always working. Like I have worked very closely with like leading personal development people, and they're literally like always available. They're always working. They're always creating something. Like they make so much money. It's like never enough. And I'm like, why don't you take all that money and go live your fucking damn life, right? Like, and they just cannot turn it off. It's the masculine, right? The overly masculine type A type of woman, that it's like, again, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being that type of person. However, if you are not that type of person, what it can create is this feeling of that there is no room for you at the top, that you cannot be successful because you are, alternative, or you are very masculine. There is this whole like black and white, like trad wife versus working wife on social media. You notice this dichotomy online where it's like, I'm this and you're that, and I like being this and you can stay that. I belong in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. And you know what I've noticed? I've noticed that the issue is that, first of all, you can be both. You can be both masculine and feminine. And in fact, when you are both masculine and feminine, and there's a good balance between both, you can achieve everything you want to achieve, both as a wife and as a mother, and as somebody who is independent and knows through experience, seeing the women before them go through incredibly hard times because they did not remain independent in how they make money. I don't know anybody here who was raised by a single mom besides me, but when you watch women go through having such a hard time and live the rest of their life never being able to do the things that they want to do, and they're coming to the end of their life and they feel like it's too late, like they didn't get to do everything they want to do. I've watched that, and because they didn't remain independent, didn't have their own income, that they they just like lost themselves. They lost themselves in marriage. They lost themselves in with their kids. And then, they're just lost. Right. And so it's not that stopping everything to raise your kids is a bad thing. Absolutely not. However, it's just so important to understand that there's also nothing negative about wanting to have your own thing, right? Just like, the flip side, like there's nothing wrong with being a working mom, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be driven about making your own money and have fancy cars and nice things and all that stuff. But when you lose sight of the feminine, and that's the thing you don't see in social media marketing, right? You don't see, or marketing in general, you don't see how those relationships are, how the relationships are with their children, how their relationships are with their spouse, right? If they're not showing those things, and that's why for me, building a personal brand is so freaking important, because if I'm choosing a mentor, I'm not choosing a mentor because she comes out of a private jet. I'm not choosing a mentor because she drives a Rolls Royce or a G-Wagon, because let's be real. Anybody who wants to buy a G-Wagon and wants to go into extreme debt and have that type of debt and that type of stress around a big house. And listen, and let me tell you, as somebody who's made a lot of fucking money, most people, what happens is the more money they make, the more expenses they have. the bigger the house, the more cars, the more expensive their cars. So their lifestyle starts to get more expensive. So their work has to stay the same, and they are stuck in this grind of having to make money, more money, more money, more money, instead of staying, below their means, living below their means or at their means, right? And staying like true to the core importance of why you make money, which is to spend more time with your family, to not have to stress about paying your bills, to be able to take your families on vacation, to be able to have more time freedom. That is the real reason why money is so great, right? And why we need to have a really good relationship with money, because we think because of social media and because of what's being advertised out there that you think you need to have XYZ to be happy. And what you just really need is the freedom to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, right? However, I do believe, as somebody who came up in an industry where I didn't see people who look like me, talk like me, dress like me, had backgrounds like me, I would tell my story and it was just like, I felt like nobody understood, right? I think that what people don't realize is that just because a lot of the people that are out there that are advertising success and making money look a certain way and act a certain way does not mean there's not a space for you. There's not a space for somebody who is creative, who likes different things, and that you can't make a lot of money and that you can't be successful doing it your own way. And one of the things that I want you to understand is that what makes you unique and what makes you an individual and what makes you so special is how you see the world and how you do things. Creating a personal brand is so amazing, because what you're essentially doing when you do that is that you are allowing yourself to be seen as who you really are and not who you think you need to be successful or happy or make money. And that is a breath of fresh air, especially in today's society where there's mostly the people who are needing more money to maintain their lifestyle, who are talking about money, and it doesn't resonate with you because you're like, well, I don't want those things. I don't want that. I just want to be able, and listen, most of the women I coach, this is what they want. They just want to be able to have a garden and to be able to cook all the food they want, like from scratch for their kids, and spend quality time with their husbands and not stress and not work 8+ hours a day at a corporate job that kicks their ass, to be able to be unhurried and sleep in and just like lower stress, right? But unfortunately, the lifestyle that's being marketed out there as a successful lifestyle is a very high stress lifestyle, because in order for you to maintain that, for the most part, you have to work your ass off, right? And there's nothing wrong with hard work, and there's nothing wrong with working hard for something that you want, but you have to learn how to do it your way, right? That means defining what success means to you. What is your perception of success, right? And how you can really discover what that is by asking yourself, like, what would my perfect day be? Usually your perfect day is like your highlight reel on social media, right? Like going on a hike. Okay, let me tell you my perfect day. Like waking up, sleeping in, being able to have a slow morning with my kids, eating breakfast, getting dressed, going hiking or going on a camping trip, staying out in nature all day, coming home, watching a movie, like it, and nowhere in there does it like, flying a private jet. Like, it's just like just as much juicing up. Is that sucking up as much juice of like that, the short time I have with my kids? I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 15-month baby. And I just feel like I can already feel the time being snatched away from me, right? So in this season of my life, before kids, it was like traveling the world and flying first class and all of that was super fun. But I didn't own a home. I didn't. I used all of my money to travel. I was nomadic, and that was what I wanted at the time. And now it's like, now I want to be home. Now I want to have a garden. Now I want to knit. Now I want to be comfy. Now I'm in my cozy, soft hustle era, right, of being a mom. And the cool thing about it is that it can grow and it can change with you. And so if you have not watched my free masterclass yet, to learn how you can do this, because I really do feel like making income online is like one of the best ways, if not best ways, to be able to make your time go further and be able to use the time that you're already online, which you all are, to use the time that you're already online to take yourself and your life and your uniqueness and your humor and the way you see the world, and to be able to turn that into a way to connect with others online and a way to start sharing. And a lot of times people are like, well, I have nothing I want to sell online. A lot of you do have, businesses that you want to grow, and they're not growing because you are missing this concept. And so that's why I have my masterclass. It's completely free, but it does expire tonight at midnight. So you need to slide into my DMs, and you need to, what is it? Growth 25. It's expiring. So it's expiring in my brain as well, because as a mom, when I don't need it anymore, it goes in the garbage, right? But Growth 25, you can also, it's replay. You can DM me the word replay. And you can also go to the link in my bio and you can read about my branding school that's starting. If this is something that you resonate with, if you understand like that there hasn't been a space for you to learn from a business person who is a creative and also like understands that like 5 a.m. rule when you have a newborn, like seriously, like that's not, no, like where there needs to be, there hasn't been a space for entrepreneurial women, especially entrepreneurial women who are creatives and need to do things their own way. Like I am that girl for you, and I just want to show you like a better way to not only conduct business, but to live your life and to see what the possibilities that are out there. Because, if there's any part of you that's not absolutely obsessed with your life, then you should be looking for ways to change that. And I really want to show you how. So you can go to the link in my bio to check out the No Rules Branding School. The doors will be closing a week from Sunday. And also I have my free masterclass that you can watch, but the replay is only available till midnight tonight. So you're going to need to either comment on this with the word replay after the live is over, because it won't give it to you during the live, or you can DM me the word replay and it'll send it to you. But either way, I just wanted to go live about this because I was talking about it in my stories and I was like, man, this fires me up. Like it was so frustrating for me when I became a new mom and I was realizing that the system was not rigged for moms. The success system was not rigged for moms. The success system was rigged for people who did not want to make motherhood their main priority. And let me tell you, you do not need to sacrifice your independence for motherhood. You do not need to sacrifice motherhood for your independence. It's a both and. You can have both. And I just want you to know that, because I spent the last 6 years figuring out how, and I figured it out. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to go drink my protein shake and I'm going to finish work for the day, and I'm going to go out there and homeschool my children, because that's the life that I created. And that's my idea of happiness, with a bunch of crafts, a bunch of crafty things around my house. Okay, bye.